Dunkin' Donuts. I love the way that it was like a role reversal. So with like Ben being Jen and Jen being Ben. And I love they kind of like have that duality kind of thing going. I also love like because this was really about J-Lo more than it was about Ben. But I love the fact that like it was using somebody else's platform to sell your upcoming project. And we're gonna see a lot of this throughout like all the Super Bowl ads of using somebody else's platform, somebody else's assets to leverage your own assets. I think this is this is like a total like entertainment private equity play. You can use this in your e-commerce business as well as just like using somebody else's assets to launch your own assets. So this is similar to like collabs, except for you're not exactly collabing, just like J-Lo and Ben weren't exactly collabing with Dunkin' Donuts. They were just using their assets and lending their brand. Google's Javier in Frame, I thought was amazing. It was very emotional, probably like the most emotional, touching, inspiring video that or commercial that we saw during the entire Super Bowl. And I think that it was that because it really drove home a point about tech and about our sentiment about tech. One of those reasons is because tech bridges community, communication, accessibility, inclusivity, all of those things. And I think we forgot that for a long time, and everybody's gotten angry about tech and everybody's gotten resentful of tech. And I think overall, I think it was a very good reminder of why we love tech in the first place and why tech has had its incredible rise. You have a brand, and especially if it's a SaaS brand or a tech brand, and now you're faced with some of these challenges and these pushbacks. I think it's really important to remind your customer base of why we're here in the first place. And Born to Play, the NFL commercial, the Born to Play, that's very interesting because the NFL is looking for a new audience. The NFL needs a new audience, it needs new markets. And I thought like knowing an African kid in a market that is popular for soccer, I thought that was very interesting. And then being the outsider, referencing that, I think the NFL is going through a strong rebrand. They're really trying to reframe the narrative here, and they're really making an effort. It's an obvious effort, but I think that they're really trying to change their narrative and their story. And I think when you're trying to do that, one of the things that happens, and you use this in your brand, is that you really just have to be obvious about it. Everybody tries to just not be obvious and overt about it. But sometimes when you fuck up, you just have to be obvious about trying to fix it. And I think one of the common themes with all of these commercials is that everybody is looking for a new audience. A lot has changed in the last few years. And a lot of people are trying to find, a lot of brands are trying to find new audiences. And I think everybody goes through this when you have a maturing brand and when you have a maturing market, because it's not just you getting older or your business getting older, it's also your customers getting older and changing. And so Doritos does a really good job of acknowledging that their demographics are probably older, they're skewing more female. The Dina and Mita thing I thought was really cool. Doritos have always been popular in Hispanic markets, just like showing the appreciation and leading into that, but also like older women. I mean, the population is aging, and women are at the forefront of buying power, they're at the forefront of decision making, and women are maturing. Women want to be seen, and they want to be seen having a good time and doing the cool shit. Doritos does that very well. The cat is out of the bag with Hollywood. Everybody understands now the economics of Hollywood. And so T-Mobile doing like open call auditions, which is cool. We've seen it in commercials before, but using all stars and literally doing self-tapes, I thought was hilarious because that is actually real life. And honestly, more and more people have access to castings, to auditions, to doing UGC, e-commerce. You can say in one way that everyone that has an iPhone and a camera and access to the internet is a model or is an actor or is a performer, is a content creator. They really leaned into the whole strike thing and the whole Hollywood thing of like people need work. Publicly advertising your castings is a really great way to build like brand affinity. And with UGC, like just doing call outreaches to your audience, to your customer base is another way to do that. Google's Javier in Frame, I thought was amazing. It was very emotional, probably like the most emotional, touching, inspiring video that or commercial that we saw during the entire Super Bowl. And I think that it was that because it really drove home a point about tech and about our sentiment about tech. One of those reasons is because tech bridges community, communication, accessibility, inclusivity, all of those things. And I think we forgot that for a long time, and everybody's gotten angry about tech and everybody's gotten resentful of tech. And I think overall, I think it was a very good reminder of why we love tech in the first place and why tech has had its incredible rise. You have a brand, and especially if it's a SaaS brand or tech brand, and now you're faced with some of these challenges and these pushbacks. I think it's really important to remind your customer base of why we're here in the first place. And I loved the Verizon commercial. I loved it obviously because it's Beyonce, but I also thought, number one, like Verizon just became the new cool phone company. Like the Dunkin' Donuts commercial, Beyonce leveraged an existing assets to launch something else afterwards. The amount of effort and work that it took to produce that, there are so many different shots, so many different setups. I think the biggest thing is that the more effort you put into things today, especially when you need to create an attention vacuum, is that you really have to go above and beyond. With the digital age, people think that, oh, I don't need to do that much. It's the internet, it's this, it's that. No, I think it's just the opposite, is that we've had a whole period of being able to just float and do low lift pieces of content. But now you really do have to increase the level of production to really, and to create that attention vacuum.